You click this video because you want to know the best teams and equipment for either Gogeta Blue, the new Ultra, or DBS Broly, the new Legends Rarity unit, accordingly based on the thumbnail and title that you pressed. Do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have a lot of content here that you'll like, and I do have plans to post some more PvP guides going forward. Rebranded, you could say. Let's get into this. Right, so the team that we've got here is Saiyans, but it's also a mix of powerful opponents. So you can see the main two, obviously in this case we've got Legend Rarity Broly, we've also got Rose, the supervillain, and we've got Bardock of the leader slot, who's not a powerful opponent, but he's a Saiyan, so it merges with the other two. This team is very versatile, and if you want a team that's never going to die, this team is that, but it also has the offensive capacity to be at the top of the game. So Bardock is indestructible, Broly is going to be transforming and breaking combos, but he can also tank. He has buff cancellation, he also has endurance. Rose has buff cancellation and endurance too, while he can do crazy offensive damage. So these three work very well together for obvious reasons, utilizing the leader slot. But I'm going to show you some other units that you could use if you don't have these three, or you're missing one, etc, etc. So let's go to the character list, right? And we're going to change the filter to Legend and Ultra, so we can start here. And I'm also going to make sure that it shows the not acquired as well, so I've deselected both of those. In terms of the blue, we've already got Rose. In terms of the green, we've already got Broly. In terms of the purple, LR Super Vegito is a very good option if you want to run him. You could put him on the leader slot instead of Bardock. Yellow, we've obviously got Bardock. Some people might want to opt in for the KO guard here. The KO guard is very valuable, but you're going to need this guy at higher stars for him to keep up. But just consider that Ultra Gogeta Blue is in the game, and he could easily snipe that guy, which is why I recommend higher stars and a defensive build if you're going to use him. For the red, obviously Ultra Gogeta Blue, he's going to get you places very offensively great. You can put him on the leader slot, and it also means you can shuffle the places around because he's God Key alongside Broly. Maybe you have Broly on the leader slot as well, or you just keep it, you know, powerful opponent, depending on how you want to build the main team. And in terms of the characters I don't have, I would only really recommend potentially Ultra Sword of Hope Trunks. He's definitely going in there. You could actually swap out Bardock, then make them core team Future, which is like an offspring, but you're still using Broly on the leader slot, so it's half powerful opponent, half Future. You could also have Buhan, which adds to the whole powerful opponent team core. Just be mindful that this guy can get absolutely nuked by Rose, so you want to play very carefully utilizing his gauge. Let's look at the Legends Limiteds though, because there is a few that I do want to mention. So in regards to the blues, I wouldn't really opt in for anybody, but at the least potentially UI Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I know Gohan's not a Saiyan, so we're going to keep him kind of out of the conversation, but those blues, they are working. Also, if you want to minimize the tags, right, you just go to Saiyans, it will clear it up for you. So we got the greens, using Super Gogeta. He's someone I wanted to mention. His ability to increase sub counts for the enemy and nullify endurance is very valuable, because there's a lot of units in this meta that have endurance. In terms of the purple, Nappa and Vegeta are perfect right now. They have the revival layer, they are tanky, they can do offensive damage, not as much as other units, but it's enough to the point where it can be a threat in certain instances. With that platinum equipment, they are gold. In terms of the yellows, I wouldn't recommend anybody but this guy here and his platinum equipment. Make sure you're running it, and also Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but that's if you're going to be running Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I didn't mention him earlier, but what I will say is if you're going to run him, you must run another GT member, but I feel like he wouldn't mesh as well, which is why I didn't mention him, because he's also green with this unit here, and you don't really want to run double green when Super Vegeta is a unit that exists. Then we're looking at the red, right? The red that I have, wouldn't recommend any of them. And in terms of the characters I don't have, I wouldn't really recommend any of them either. But if we go into Sparkings, there is one character that I do want to mention specifically, but let's see if there's any others just in case. Slip my memory, but when I see them, I'll know. The greens I already mentioned, fusing Super Gogeta. The purples, not really. That's if you want to run a double green, by the way. The yellows, we already mentioned Rose. In terms of the red, I will slide in here Broly when he gets his platinum equipment, so just keep that in mind. And out of the ones I don't have, maybe you want to consider Paragus. I've seen people say he's annoying when he utilizes his paralyze, but beyond from that, maybe not. But yeah, those are the guys I'd mentioned for Saiyan slash powerful opponent. The team kind of crosses over with each other, and as you can see in this case, there's two of them, but they're also Saiyans. The second team we've got here is Sagas from the Movies, but Sagas from the Movies is quite lackluster, but it does have one build that's very strong, and I'd recommend it if you are able to form it. So in this case, you put Ultra Gold G to Blue on the leader slot, you run Legend Rarity Broly, of course, where you're going to be running Fusion 13. He's on the Broly banner, not this one. I'm using the red Sparking as a placeholder for the Legends Limited Android 13. He revives into Fusion 13. If you want a better look at him, he's actually on the banner, so I want to show you guys. If I go to drop list lineup, you see him right here, Android 13. He is immaculate. He will help you out, keeping the team alive, sealing the enemy's blast cards, and because Gogeta is range type, a lot of people are running ranged teams, blast cards going everywhere. So make sure if you have him and you want to run Sagas from the Movies, he's going to be a great pick. Now there is maybe one or two other options, but the team's very strict. So if we go to character list, right, I changed my filter, so make sure you have Ultra Legend Limited, Sagas from the Movies for the episode, press OK. In terms of the blues, nobody really. Green, I already mentioned, fusing Super Gogeta, but Broly's going to be your main guy. The purples just suck. The yellows also suck. However, consideration for Janemba, he's on a decent tier boost. People might want to try him out. He was good in the festival, but a very underrated unit. The guys that did use him do know though. In terms of the red, I want to re-mention Red Broly because he's going to be getting a platinum equipment soon. And in terms of the characters I don't have, it's only Fusion 13 that I really wanted to prop. Other than that, it's going to be your guy Gogeta, who's already on the squad. So this would be the only other team I'd recommend, because Saiyan / powerful opponent, it's just a combination of the core guys, but then other than that, you'd be combining leader slot options and whatnot. Now in regards to some leader slot options, so these are guys, depending on how you wanted to change up the team, you can put them on the leader slot or form the team around these guys and use Ultra Broly, Legend Broly, sorry, with them to make the team whole. So we're starting with Ultra Super Saiyan Trunks, sort of Hulk Trunks. He's green, works well with Rose, and you could make Broly the leader slot and then make the whole team Future, which will be very effective, or put Trunks on the leader slot and make the team powerful opponent, which could also work. We've got Rose, I already explained, this guy is powerful opponent, but you could also use him as a Saiyan, so you can keep him on the leader slot, and then you want to make the team something else, or even on Sagas from the Movies, you run Fusion 13 or Gogeta Blue and then keep this guy over there. But just know that Gogeta Blue doesn't buff movies, but you can get the gist with the type of units that you want to build depending on who you have, and you just fix the pieces accordingly so you get the best rotation. Here we have LR Super Vegito, Fusion Warrior. You put Broly on the leader slot, you can run Ultra Gogeta Blue. If you put this guy on the leader slot, you can run Saiyans, like I mentioned before. You've got Bardock in the same sense. You can put this guy on the leader slot, you can run Saiyans. That will work very well. And then we've obviously got Ultra Gogeta Blue. He doesn't buff Sagas from the movie, so he'd be mentioned for the leader slot option. But there is other places you could figure out if you wanted to use him, for example, powerful opponent. But yeah, those are my leader slot options. Let's get into the bench. So the first character we got here for the bench is Cooler. All the Zenkai buffers are going to be green, so this is the first one here. He Zenkai buffs powerful opponent, green and powerful opponent. His Z ability also works well for the kid Broly. And we've also got legendary Super Saiyan Broly, DBZ Broly here. He Zenkai buffs Sagas from the Movies and a green, of course, and his Z ability also works for Broly too. We've got this Goku here as well, and his Zenkai buff is Sagas from the Movies, as well as his Z ability working for greens or Saga from the Movies, which is great for Broly. And then we continue here, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This one's going to be green Saiyans. His Z ability also works for Broly too, but through Saiyans, double defense. And then we've got Dragon Fist here, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. His Zenkai buff is Sagas from the Movies, green. His Z ability is also just Sagas from the Movies and Saiyans, which will help him out. And then for our HP buff, we've got the Super Saiyan Broly here. Now his Zenkai buff is not going to be relevant for Broly because Broly is green and this Broly is yellow powerful opponent. But the Z ability is a HP buff 20% to powerful opponent, which can benefit you if you're making your core team powerful opponent and you leader slot somebody else, or you just make everything powerful opponent, and then everybody will be getting a HP boost, which is just great for your team. Right, so the first equipment we got here is Awakened Historic Showdown. They've brought it back specifically for this campaign. You can see here the first slot is very good. Base HP, special move, ultimate damage all 10%. Slot 2 and slot 3 are pure slots, and you get blast attack and strike attack. Now pure slots, you can see it just says 14.95 to own blast attack. The word base doesn't come before it, where there's typically base strike, base blast, etc, etc. Now what this means is it's essentially a multiplier. The easiest way I like to explain it is by saying it's a multiplier. So when you get units, right, you add add equipment to them, you add Zenkai buffers to them, Z abilities, all those type of abilities that get stacked onto that unit that you're using. They are all base stats and they get added onto your character. But to explode that number that you get, the accumulation of all those additionals that you've added, you need a multiplier, and that's when the pure stats come in, where there's a blast attack statement, strike attack statement, strike defense, blast defense, whatever it is, but the word base isn't before it. That means it's a pure equipment, and in this case it's 15%, which is good, but it's conditional. So you need to make sure you have 3 Sagas from the Movies member and 3 Saiyans, which usually means it's going to be a Goku, a Vegeta, Gogeta, or Broly in most cases. So yeah, make sure you have that if you're running this equipment, and you need 3 of them when you go out to the battlefield to make this equipment activate. The first slot will, but the second and third slot won't, unless you can meet the conditions for each slot. Very good equipment this one is. How to get it is from Historic Showdown, and I hope I got you to understand the concept of pure equipment, because there's going to be a couple that get mentioned going forward. You only really need 1 though, just bear that in mind. You won't need more than 1, maybe 2 if you're running like 3 Zenkai buffs, so you can double explode the damage, but you won't need to double explode it because you're going to need more base, and the one pure that you'll have would be enough to bring it up to that height. If you want to go ultra defensive, so you really want to push the defenses on this Legend Broly, you can run this equipment here, Raining Onslaught. Double defense, base defense on the first slot, then you get pure defense for strike and blast on the second and third slot. For Fusion Warrior and Powerful Opponent, which fits Broly because he's a powerful opponent. And how you can get this is from the dual coin exchange shop. Ultra Bonanza's on right now, so it should be easier. Make sure you take advantage of it. This equipment here, it's better than the last one, but the conditions are much more tighter because you might want these equipments for multiple people. You have to consider the grinding aspect. Overwhelming difference in power. You get base HP, base health restoration, and you also get base strike defense and blast defense, and you can see there it goes up to 12% for strike and blast defense, but you need to have a Saga from the Movies and a powerful opponent that is not him. So in most cases you won't have both, but you could fit that team. For example, you're running Ultra Gogeta Blue, he's Sagas from the Movies, tick. And then the other one you run Rose, he's a powerful opponent, tick. And then you get those boxes filled out so you can get the conditions from this equipment. You can get this from the dual coin exchange shop, but maybe the conditions you can't fit, so you might want to not want to run this. But yeah, the dual coin exchange shop for this one. This one here is elite. It's my go-to when I want to run a powerful opponent. Though Broly doesn't have an ultimate art, so the ultimate damage goes to waste. Offenses are very good, so you get special move damage, which he will use a lot. Base strike defense, base blast defense, so good defenses too, additional to your base. But you also get the pure attack, strike, and blast from the second and third slot. Just make sure you're running a full powerful opponent team. So consider Nappa, consider Rose, some of the likes I mentioned in this video. You can get this from the dual coin exchange shop. I like this equipment here. Awakened, finally time to go wild. Base strike defense, base blast defense, special move, ultimate damage going to waste because Broly doesn't have that, but you can get health restoration, so good defenses, good blue card damage, and HP restore, which is nice. And you can get this memory. You don't have to do all the grinding anymore. They fixed the system. You just need the memories and the fragments. Zenny as well. You can get the memory from the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush Shot. This is one that I grinded up recently and I do plan to use. Awakened Euphalia. First slot, base strike defense 18%. Second slot, base blast attack and strike defense, both 18%. And the third slot, it's a pure 5 to 10% to strike attack and defense when battle style melee type or battle style defense type is a battle member. So in this case, Broly's a range type. Sorry, Broly's a defense type, so it applies to himself. But if I wanted to run a melee type as a battle member, I'd use Rose. Then I'd also get the benefits. The benefits don't stack. You just need to meet at least one of the conditions, which is why it says or. So yeah, this equipment here is very good. I'm planning to use it. You can get this memory from the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush Shop. It says Euphalia memory. And you just upgrade it. You don't need to do all the extra with the awakening and whatnot like I've been saying. It's literally just the memory, the fragments, and Zenny, and you'll be good to go. The last equipment I got is this equipment here. It's a new one. It has Gogeta Blue on it. Blast from behind, base strike defense, base blast defense, health restore, and HP. You can see there's for sagas from the movie Saiyan, and you can get it from the new events. You can see the 8th anniversary special event, the fierce fight resumes, challenge the absolute limit, and you can even get chrono crystals from doing it. You keep running that and you'll be able to get the equipment. Hopefully you get a red slot. The Bonanza's on right now, but this one is solid if you want to go the defensive route for Broly. That's going to make the end of the video. If there's any other equipments that you guys recommend, let me know in the comment sections below, because you guys might be able to help somebody else, as I'm only one guy, but I do my best to put you guys in the best position, as I do actually play PvP frequently. I'm a 56-time God rank player. I'd say I'm quite well versed in this game, but I'm not perfect, which is why you guys helping out can also be an additional. But the video's here to give you guys that straightforward guide to put you on the right track. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.